I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Tim.
We're Guides.
And you're listening to Backstage Pass.
I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is Backstage Pass. Tonight we're at Mr. Small's Funhouse with Guides. Introduce yourselves.
Hey, this is Jonathan, the singer of Guides.
I'm Tim, and I play the drums.
So it's been since the fall of last year. I saw you at a Halloween show. It was at this venue. What have you been up to in the last 4 months?
So we took some time off for the end of the year and the holidays and, whatever, like things slow down. But what we've been really working hard at is finishing and refining the new material that we have. And we've been playing versions of those songs out, but like now we have much more complete lyrics and vocal melodies and been able to tighten them up a lot. So you'll be hearing, those versions of those songs tonight, as well as a brand new one that no one has heard yet.
And when do you plan on releasing some of this material?
I would say that the plan is to try to record in the summer, and I don't want to put the timeline on it because that's always like the dagger, right? The thing that slows it down. So in my mind, it's like we're hopefully releasing songs by the end of the year and getting ready to put out the EP like first thing next year.
Okay. So have you went into the studio or you just demoed stuff at home?
Yeah, so far we've just been demoing at home various different ways, but I mean they're like pretty high fidelity demos at this point. So I mean it's the it's like kind of the step before going. It's like the pre-production step before going into the studio.
Okay. Is there like any key tracks that stand out so far?
Let me take that one. What's your favorite, Tim?
Well, I would say like the newest one, which is kind of like maybe one of the heavier feeling songs, is called Drill Nino. Is it Drill Nino? Like a little boy? Drill Nino? Yeah. It's pretty like heavy and a little more like straightforward feeling. So maybe like a little bit less progressive than some of the other stuff, but like lower guitar and bass tones and just heavier driving feeling. That's not like everything we're writing necessarily, but that's like pretty fun to be bashing through right now. That one's kind of like the freshest, I guess, on my head since we've been really like getting that one ready to debut.
Yeah, that one features the 8-string guitar, which is a new the first song that we've done with an 8-string. So that definitely brings like a different sound for us, but it's it still sounds like Guides, I think. I would say about the material overall, though, like somehow it's both heavier and more melodic all at the same time. Like it's bigger, it's more fresh, but like all of those like dynamic elements and like the big hits and stuff are still there. So I don't know, we're really excited about it because it's just that the stuff we released last year, the songs are like 10 years old, so all of this stuff feels really fresh for us.
Do you have anything special planned for your set list tonight?
Ooh. We do. We have a surprise at the end. We're going to play our Taproot cover again and again, and the plan is for Taylor Roberts from Taproot to come up and play guitar with us on that song. So we haven't rehearsed it or have hardly talked about it, but we'll try and see how it goes.
Tell me a little bit about your friendship with Taylor and how that started.
Yeah, so it all started when we played with Taproot last August at the Crafthouse, and I mean, we had been flirting with them online through social media because of Darren's Fraud Durst character. I mean, they all caught on to that and got in on the joke, and so there was a lot of back and forth leading up to that date. So when we all met that night, it all kind of felt like we already knew each other. So, I mean, that was a good start, and, you know, we've just stayed in touch. I think the one thing with Taylor was Darren, our guitar player, introduced him to a guitar pedal that just produces fart sounds. So, like, Darren had it at the show. Taylor bought one, like, the next day, and, like, that was kind of like what bonded them. And so, I mean, it was a lot of just, like, goofy shenanigans, really, but, like, I mean, we've continued to grow that relationship. Like, we made the trip out to Michigan in September for their CD release at the Machine Shop, and you know, we went and saw them in Steubenville in December. So just being around and continuing to spend time together, we've just kind of, like, it's you know, the relationship has continued to grow. So it's been awesome having him here today, and just kind of, like, reconnecting and keeping that going. So
now, tell me how Riding with Killers, how'd you get them on this lineup for this show tonight? How did that come about?
It's funny, actually. I that wasn't my original plan. I actually had some other thoughts about what the lineup tonight, and that none of that worked out. And I was like, well, Taylor Roberts. Well, actually, let me rephrase that one. So I had actually asked them initially. It didn't work out, so I made other plans, and then those fell through. So I circled back, and they were available. So it was like, all right, well, this was just what was meant to be. We had to kind of, like, go back and forth until we got there. So I just asked if they wanted to come play here, and it was as simple as that. Really, it wasn't anything more complex, you know, or dramatic. So they just wanted to do it.
Okay. What's your goals and plans for the rest of this year?
Well, I'll announce them now. We have been sitting on 2 huge show announcements in May. One of them is opening for the band Simon Says, who is also you know, in the Taproot's label, THC. And then 2 weeks later, on May 22nd, we're opening for Orgy and Cold, co-headline show. So our immediate plans are to blow those shows up as much as possible, and then probably take the next couple of months off to do the recording thing and figure that out. So summer is probably going to be light unless things come up, and then we'll start ramping shows back up end of summer into the fall. I'd say outside of that, our big goal is to get out of Pittsburgh and start playing shows. So however we can start facilitating that, we're going to be working on that.
Where can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, all the social media channels you can think of. I suppose Instagram and Facebook are pretty regularly, like, maintained. They're pretty up to date, and if you reach out to us on either of those, you'll be able to get a hold of us pretty easily. Also, if you're, like, old school and want to go www.guidesmusic.com, you can do that. Other than that, maybe, like, you could check us out on Spotify and give us some streams. That always helps out the count. And you know, if it's like some evening and you're just sitting, listening, looking at, like, the, you know, spring moon, and you listen, perhaps you'll hear us in the distance, you know, cooking up some new tunes for you.
That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Come to a show. We're going to be playing a lot this year, so come see us and hang out. It's always a party, and that's the one thing we can promise for sure. But you know, we're going to be out there, so come see us.
Yeah, and if those of you who have already listened or supported us in any way, thanks, because it's a lot of hard work, and it means a lot when we see just anybody stream a single stream. It's very much appreciated.